Well, hello, hello, hello. You know what day it is? Hey, it's Friday. It's my day, and I'm live at 5. Hey, I'm live at 5. Hey, it's Friday. It's my day, and I'm live at 5. All right, look, come on in the room. This week, we've been talking about stop telling stories, true lies, and today is all about the naked truth. Put that in the chat, the naked truth. I'm waiting to see my red dress. I want to see if my sissy done made it up in here. It's Friday. It's my day. I need to have my red dress. But look, before we get into this conversation, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Deneen Merriweather. I am the CEO and founder of Queenpreneurs Jumpstart Program. It is the number one training environment for women in the world looking to leverage their knowledge, ignite their passion, and build a highly profitable business. And you may be wondering, well, how do we do that? How do we make that happen? Well, we build your courage, your confidence, and your competence so you can accept, believe, and commit to what it is that God has called you to do. So look, it's Friday, is my day. It's the naked truth. Put that in the chat. The naked truth, the naked truth. Okay. So here's the naked truth. Earlier this week, maybe like 2 days ago, I was preparing myself to lead an introduction to the Landmark Forum, and I was laying down in bed and I started to assess my life. And of course, tears started coming down my eyes. I was crying. I was in upset. I felt disappointed. There was things that I still wanted to see happen or to accomplish in my life, and I still haven't seen it yet. Put it in the chat, the naked truth. Put it in the chat, the naked truth. And while I was laying there, I was like, okay, Denise, like you feeling all of these emotions, you feel the disappointment, you feel like you're missing something. My sister and I too have been talking a lot about living in this space of regret or having regret about certain things. I think it's a book or something that she's reading, and it gets into how when you're in this space of regret, you're comparing yourself to something that may have happened in the past, right? It's an important component of regret. Comparison is so when you find yourself thinking about or wishing it was some other way or shoulda, coulda, wouldas. That's all in the world of regret. Put it in the chat, the naked truth. Put it in the chat, the naked truth. So while I was laying there and tears was rolling down my eyes, I started to think about, okay, Deneen, there is some responsibility for you. Remember, we talked about responsibility this week. We talked about ownership. We talked about living in the real world, right? Facts over fiction. Like there is something, it's not that I'm confused about anything. I'm not confused about anything. I don't want to live in that particular world, but the naked truth, I had to get down to the truth of it. And I want to share this with you today. So the first thing that I got super duper clear was number one, whenever you feel yourself in upset or disappointment or not having achieved something, the first thing you should look at is your alignment. Put this in the chat, your alignment. So, what do I mean about alignment? Well, I say it all the time. Whenever you're having a whole bunch of conversation, right? Like your mouth is running about something that you're going to do, something that you want to achieve, or you've been waiting for, looking for, but those actions are not aligning with your speech, then that will cause you to feel this disappointment, this upset, this regret, because you are the clearest gauge to whether or not you're going to obtain the goal or the next thing that you want to obtain in life. And when you are looking at yourself and your alignment and you see that something hasn't shown up or something hasn't happened, you need to check your speech. You need to check your actions. So let me tell you how important each of those things are, right? So let's talk about your speech. Your speech is your creative power. That is where the creation happens. Yes, it may be in a thought in your mind, but it becomes alive when you say it. Right. And remember how I always tell you sharing things is so important because when you're sharing yourself with people, it also takes on another life, because when you actually share something with someone else, if they are good listeners, if they care about you, they are going to hold you accountable to the things that you are saying out of your mouth. So speech is great. It is your creative power. It's what you use in order to get things into existence, right? Because that speech, the words, are even the things that you type on your calendar to bring things into existence. Okay, so let's talk about actions. Well, actions are important because it lives in the world of performance. See, there are some actions that we take, and there are actions that we do not take. But not all actions are in the world of performance. Some actions are in your head. Some actions may be within your feelings. Some actions may be reading something or listening to something. And when you're doing that, that is a action, but it's not an action that's actually in the world of performance. See, in order for you to be able to see the thing that you talking about and you create with your words, it requires you to take action. So if you are sad and disappointed that something in your life has not shown up, check your alignment. Make sure your speech and your actions are moving in the same direction. Number two, if you find yourself rushing Father Time, put that in the chat. Rushing Father Time. See, as I was laying there, I was thinking about how bad I wanted this presentation to go well and how I was ready to get to the next step or the next point within the training that I'm in. And I'm trying to rush Father Time because I want it to happen now, or I want it to happen tomorrow, or I wish it would have happened yesterday. And when you're playing that game against time, here's the thing: you're going to always lose. You are not in control of time. You are responsible how you use time, but you're not in control of time. My coach this week posed this question to me, and I'm going to pose this question to you. Do we ever really know when something is going to happen? Put that in the chat as a question. Do we ever really know when something is going to happen? And I would have to say no, right? When I thought of even having my children, like I received a birth date, and neither one of them, by the way, came when they were supposed to come or when I was told they were coming, right? One was late, one was super late, super late, and one was early, right? Maybe not a lot early. She was like a day or so early. But here's the thing: do you ever really know when something is going to happen? And I want you to answer that. Put it in the chat. Do you ever really know? Now, you may have an idea on when you want something to happen. You may even plan for something to happen. But how many times you've been on your way out or on your way to an event and then traffic happened, or a flat tire happened, or someone canceled at the last minute, right? Like, yeah, LaShawn was like, nope, no. You don't ever really know when something is going to happen. You may have an idea, you may mark it on the calendar, but again, rushing Father Time is only going to get you in that upset place where I was, or that disappointed place, or in that place of comparison, because you're looking at other people potentially crossing the finish line before you. But I like this quote that I've been seeing with Michael B. Jordan, where he's like, the only person that I'm ever competing against is the person that I was last year, right? I want to see how I've grown. I want to see how I have improved. But looking outside of yourself would be catastrophic to your momentum, catastrophic to your mindset, catastrophic to your timetable. And then number three, the naked truth is that you really need to embrace the process. Now, here is something that's really difficult for us sometimes. And I know this is a tough conversation, but I think it's all right for a Friday. I know it's not a Wednesday, but I think it's okay for a Friday. See, the thing about the process is that it's there to prepare you for what it is that you're saying that you want. And a lot of times we find ourselves fighting against the process because it's not in our time, or we're tired of doing the work, right? I found myself saying to my coach, like, I'm exhausted. Like, I'm ready to get through this. I'm ready to get to another stage. But do you get It's the repetition of the tedious things that actually are responsible for some of the greatest growth and momentum in your life or your business or your career. Like it's the thing that you do over and 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 over again. Like these lives, like presentations, like having enrollment conversations, like calling people on the phone, like writing something down, writing quotes, writing sales pages, writing emails to your clients, right? It's the things that you master. Put this in the chat. Mastery is where success lives. Like when you actually master something, the thing that you can do so well without thought, like is second nature. It's almost like living in the world of automation, right? It's that thing after you've practiced it over and over and over and over again is when you're actually able to master it and have success in that area. So stop fighting the process, be with it, because remember, being in alignment with what it is that you're saying that you want is going to require you to not rush for the time. Like let time have its perfect work, right? And don't fight the process, because the process is what's going to prepare you for the place that you're saying that you want to go and to be able to sustain it. Because it's one thing to get a blessing or have something come that you work for. But if you cut corners and you took the shortcut and you didn't give it your 150%, when it's time to perform, there will be a problem because you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know how to maintain or how to keep it or how to think on your toes or how to be prepared for the things unexpected because you haven't developed yourself in a way to handle the things that you will face. So the naked truth is, get yourself in alignment, your speech and your actions. Don't rush for the time and embrace the process. So think about these things, meditate on these things. We'll have a new conversation on next week. I'm going to let you know too when our next Becoming the Change program will start. I know that it will be in August. I'm going to give you the date. So if you want to register, you'll be able to register. But for now, go ahead out to YouTube. Follow me on YouTube at Deneen Merriweather. Follow this page, Deneen Merriweather. And if you want a closer connection, a more intimate connection, you could go to my private group, Career to Calling with Deneen Merriweather. Always happy to serve you. And on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Deneen Merriweather. Okay, those are all the spots. Deneen Merriweather is where it's at. Always looking forward to serving you. It's Friday. It's my day. I'm live at 5 on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm looking forward to serving you. I'll see you bright and early Saturday. Monday at 5. All right. Talk to you later. Love you guys. Have an amazing weekend.